Fire in the Hole, Songwriter's Journal, number 10. Take one. Oh dear Lord, help us. Hey there, Rob Edenbow here. Welcome back to the Songwriter's Journal. This is episode number 10. This is where I share my story. Building a brand as a singer-songwriter, live music performer, and a vlogger. Remember to like this video, please, and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I feel like shooting the last episode and just putting it out there, I was motivated finally to make some progress. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about some of the accomplishments that I'm feeling good about. Also going to discuss some new gear I've just gotten, go over some tech skills I'm learning. I'll share some voice problems I've recently had and how I overcame them. I will, and finally, I have a new song, Fragment this time. Just a verse and a chorus, but I believe there's something to this one, and I might finish it and try to get it out there. So let's get started. I wanted to review and follow up on my last video, Songwriter's Journal number 9. First up, I went off script, so I rambled way too much, like Jack Elliott. Forced me to chop out a bunch of it. Horrors. Editing. I used a new tripod selfie stick I had just gotten. I didn't realize it, but that meant using the built-in mic on my iPhone, which is my camera. So the sound on that last video was lower quality than I would have preferred. I still need to figure out the microphone thing. I'll get more into that later. I found the shadow work concept, which evolved into a self-assessment of how I had stalled with my music goals. Specifically by not sending emails. But I also called myself out on how I repeatedly do thorough research but fail to act on it or follow through on what I prepared for. Additionally, I touched on my habit of buying gear that I don't know how to use and either not learning it or in some cases never even unboxing the gear. So let's start unpacking that. Songwriter's Journal 9 was the second or third time I ran way too long. Originally, I imagined these videos being like 15 minutes or less. Now I'm very okay with up to 20 minutes. At this stage in my vlogging career, I feel that that's a comfortable range, 15 to 20 minutes. Anything beyond that has challenges I'm not ready for, such as continuity and entertainment value. Originally I said I didn't want to do editing. Well, the truth is, when I filmed Songwriter's Journal number 1, I didn't know how to edit at all. So, eliminating the editing obstacle freed me up to get started. After 2 or 3 times, overdoing it, I finally learned how to cut some of this stuff out. I learned a new skill, and I got to compare myself to the great Ramblin' Jack Elliott. Regarding the sound quality, from the beginning, I've been filming on my iPhone 14 Pro. I've always envisioned maximizing it as a key tool for my music, and I spent a few extra bucks making sure it had the extra memory and whistles and bells. For sound, I'm attaching an external mic. It's a Shure MV88 Plus condenser mic that came in a little kit that I got a few years back. The kit came with a little microphone and a small tabletop tripod and a phone holder and a mic clip attachment that fixes right onto the iPhone holder. I think it might be called a cold shoe clamp. It's a kind of thing you would use for a fancy professional camera, like the DSLs. I know they're going to mirrorless now, but for those of you that know gear, I think that's what it's called. That's part of my struggles. I I not only not know what I'm looking for, but describing it, I'm using these simple words like clips and holders, and even on Amazon, that's kind of a nightmare trying to find what you want. Anyway, that's all neat, but the system I have doesn't expand with me or adapt to any new equipment. The biggest issue I have with the setup is that the phone can only film in landscape or horizontal format. I want to be able to shoot portrait, the upright vertical stuff like they're using on all the phones now, like for Instagram and YouTube shorts. And maybe someday I'll do a TikTok. We'll see if the damn app is still legal in the United States by the time I get around to that learning curve. Now the real crux of the problem is the iPhone only has one port. One port. That's all you get. One button and one port, right? Thank you, Steve Jobs. That's the only place to plug anything in, like a microphone. And my tripod and my iPhone holder combo only allows the port to be available if it's horizontal. Once I try flipping it, well, first of all, it doesn't flip, but other holders similar to it that do flip, they block the port just by the way they hold the darn phone. They clamp from the top and the bottom. I need something that can clamp from the sides. Anyhow, I filmed my my last episode with this new tripod and phone holder, and the problem was the mic could not clip onto the rig anywhere. I got a fairly good quality mic, so I want to figure out a way to use it. I've since gotten another new iPhone holder for the tripod. It still doesn't have a cold shoe clamp or anything like that can hook on a microphone, but at least it opens up the port no matter how I turn it in space. It's got this 360-degree capability, and it is compatible with the tripod that I bought, which is also a selfie stick sort of thing. I might eventually invest in a good lavalier Bluetooth system, but and this is off script here, but as I was getting ready to shoot this here finally, I decided to try the mic, the Shure MV88 Plus, with a regular microphone clamp, holder, whatever, the kind that I use for my regular microphones that I would use on stage. And daggone it, the thing fit. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, even though I've got a short miniature condenser mic instead of the longer handle that's on a stage mic, it's the same size. Wild. So as I'm filming this, I've got my iPhone camera and the condenser mic I'm using. I've got it hooked onto a boom, what do you call it, mic stand, which is pretty cool. It actually almost, if you walked in right now and you didn't hear me babbling about how I'm stumbling through this trial and error, you'd think I'd know what I was doing. Now for the shadow work thing. First of all, I wasn't sure exactly what shadow work was, and now that I've looked into it, I don't feel as though I've done any of the exercises as I've learned about, but what I actually did was I wrote a song that called upon my subconscious to speak out, which is a pretty common way that I write songs. And when it spoke one word, which was shadow work. It pointed me to my next journey, because then I looked it up. From there I went on a deep dive into my lack of progress in music and what might be holding me back. I'm excited to say I finally sent out a cold email. Afterwards I sent 4 more, and I got a nibble. Someone sent me a return email saying that they'd check out my stuff. About a week later I got to work on my website finally. I replaced the simple selfies I had used with the professionally done photos I had taken a couple months ago. I also added a second video. The first video had shown me doing an obscure song in my basement studio, like right here. whereas the new video shows me performing a much more popular song live on stage. Then I sent out a new blast, 5 more emails, and I refined the email template I created, and this time I landed a gig. So a 10-to-1 ratio is pretty darn good, I think. I've heard you can expect a 20-to-1 ratio. If you send out 20 emails, you're you know, what do they call it? The law of diminishing returns, or the law of averages. Yeah, that's it. Says that you'll get a consistent amount of hits, successes. So I got to figure out what that sweet spot is. Somehow I doubt it's only going to be 10. I'm hearing from other musicians it's more like 20. Anyway, regarding new skills I'm learning, the first skill was getting my own gigs. The second was performing my own 2+ hour gigs at public venues. I want to mention advertisement banners for Facebook. I got back on Canva, the free version this time, and I banged around. I wound up with 2 different ads that look pretty good, one for each of the next 2 gigs I have booked. I had tried Canva once before. I wanted to resize a photo, so I had to subscribe to the thing. They got a couple months out of me. I got nothing. I never got my photo done right. I couldn't figure it out, so I dropped it. I felt real good about how it turned out this time. I can't wait to post the ads. Matter of fact, I should probably be posting the first one after I'm done shooting this video. I have a gig this coming Friday, I believe. Friday or Saturday, so it's 6 or 7 days away. The next skill I want to work on is recording. I bought a bunch of recording studio gear. I need to unbox most of it for the first time and get my room set up. And I bought this stuff a year, 2 years ago. I mean, I've slowly been collecting pieces. The recording studio, it's been a dream of mine for a few years, really. I've got flooring, I've got curtains, software loaded into the computer, condenser mic, and I'm not talking about this Shure that I'm using now. I got a bigger one. I think it's called Warm Audio. Yeah. It's about a $400 condenser mic. It's by far the most expensive microphone I've ever purchased. That one I actually got out of the box and looked at it and said, oh, that's pretty, and I put it back. This is one and only time it's ever been out of the box. Anyway, it's time to get on it. My goal was to begin this summer, so if I start this weekend, I'm on schedule with that, with my action plan, so to speak. I want to be able to record a demo to take to a producer, engineer, later this year, and start planning my first album. Now, I want to have some money saved up by that time, so that's something I'm a little worried about, whether or not I'll be able to do that. But first things first, I want to have a demo that I can bring to him and or her, and let them listen to what I'm doing and help me actually pick the songs that'll be on the album and come up with a vision for it. One last skill I started into is photography. I just started using my phone, but playing around with the photography features and researching tips and tricks how to use it. I've made some improvements in the quality overall. Also, I've improved my low-light videos for dark venues and nighttime shoots. And this video marks a new first for me. Instead of reading from a flat script on a desk or trying to wing it, I'm experimenting with using my laptop as a teleprompter. The Apple laptop I have is another example of me researching and pouring money into gear and then failing to use it up to its potential. Anyway, this week, preceding my last gig, the week preceding my last gig, reading from the teleprompter, the week was cursed by vocal trouble. I got hoarse either from GERD, the reflux heartburn stuff that I have, which kind of runs in the family. It would help if I'd lose some weight. It could have been my allergies too. They've been pretty bad the last month or so here. End of July going into the beginning of August here. Really been horrible for me. I was forced to rest my voice instead of building it up for the 2-hour performance I had to do. I used my vocal cord humidifier and the honey loquat lozenges I recently purchased. And now my next gig, the one that's coming up here in 6 or 7 days, it's a 3-hour gig. It's less than, like I say, it's this week. And I really haven't begun to work on my vocal strength much. I really just started practicing for it only like 2 days ago, and I haven't done any longer singing sessions with my voice yet. I really need to do that over the next few days so that I can handle 3 hours of singing, you know. My last gig, I felt like I made mistake after mistake. The audience was about 24 people, and they were super nice though, and they applauded anyway. So, you know, as bad as I thought I was, they seemed to enjoy it, and I guess that's what counts, right? It doesn't matter. I'm still going to try to do better this next gig. I've got a song fragment this time. I always said that I would share even a piece of whatever I'm working on and not hold myself to completing a full song. A full song demand would be an obstacle to actually shooting a video, and when I wrote this, I gave myself a time limit. I can't remember why now, but maybe I wrote it before work because I had to leave at a certain time. Thus, it got done, but it's just a short piece that needs worked up into a full song. I had no vision for the song other than dreaming of a song in my sleep, and when I got up, I went on into my morning routine and forgot the blimey thing. So when I sat down, I felt like I was creating it all over again, but I'm pretty sure I was in that same thought train, and you know, maybe the words I dreamed about were a little different, or the melody and hooks changed somewhat, but I think it's pretty much the same thing that was starting to come to me. Usually I'd make myself write 2 or more verses or a bridge or explore some different key. This one's just in good old G major. It's about the whole boy-girl relationship thing. These kinds of songs never get old. There's always going to be room for one more. I think a lot of songwriters get in their own way with these kind of songs. An attitude can easily form that it's garbage or the same old thing, everybody's doing it, whatever. Sometimes you gotta let her fly. I'm kind of digging this one, and I may build it into a full song and do it out live in person in front of a real audience, a real live person audience, as opposed to playing a fragment or so on a video. Which, you know, I really appreciate you all being here and listening to this, believe me. Anyway, for right now I'm calling it I'm Her Man. Let's give it a whirl here. Oh, that's the wrong key. There we go. Like I said, G major. Oh, and she comes to me. She knows I'm Mr. Reliable. Oh, and she knows I'm always gonna be there. She got other things to do. She got other people who depend on her. Oh, 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 that's why she's coming to me. Oh, and she knows she doesn't always have to be a strong one. The world won't fall apart if she cries. She got someone she can rest her head on. She got someone she can put her feet on. Oh, and when she needs it, she knows I'm Alrighty. So, thanks y'all for spending this time with me. It means a lot to me to have you here and to share my story. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons for the video. I've got like I said, this is number 10. I've got 9 more episodes. If you haven't watched one before, I invite you to watch some of the other ones. I plan to keep these videos coming. I feel like they're doing me some good, and I really hope you're enjoying them. So until next time, my friends, love and peace.